Hi, good afternoon. I just finished like editing my video and finished the outro and everything. And my husband sent me photos because he's still on Facebook and he's very aware of the HHN Facebook page, which I'm not re-downloading the app because I don't want to waste time on there. I've deleted pretty much every single social media app on my phone besides, well, I mean, TikTok, Red Note. So I have all of them, but I never go on them. Like literally Instagram just for business. Bluesky, literally forget that it exists all the time. Redbook, go on there for crochet inspo, and right now it's sewing inspo, although I just don't have the skills to do what I want to do on there. And TikTok is where I spend most of my time and waste my time. So that's why I tried to leave my phone in another room. However, we were just there 2 days ago, and today they put out new merch for HHN. Ugh! I hate when that happens. So, as I have been talking about, I do plan on going out to Universal more often, starting probably next week then, or the week after, to go HHN prop hunting, because that is my favorite time of the year. I do love HHN as well. I don't know which one I love. Well, I love both of them. To be honest, I love both of them for very different reasons. I love being able to go out on my little hot girl walks at Universal just to look at like really pretty pop props. I love going on hot girl walks during HHN to look at the costumes and even look at other people's fashion and be inspired by their fashion, because that to me proves that people IRL dress up and not just on the internet. So last week, because last week is last week for y'all, but it's literally still in the export phase right now for me. I was working on this. I am working on this. This is the part like 5 million of the Zero Stratus top. This is the top I am working alongside with the pattern testers to get myself all prepped and ready to make sure the pattern testers are feeling comfortable, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know if you guys are here to listen to me talk about pattern testing, because that's literally all I did last video. Why did I get on here? Talking about HHN. But yeah, right now we are working on this. I will be able to finish this within the next 2-3 days. I know for sure I'll be able to finish this bodice piece today, because it takes about 4 hours to finish one bodice piece for me personally. And I think for others it may, because I have one pattern tester that finished 4 of the pieces already, 4 out of 7. I haven't sent her the rest of them yet because I do still need to work on the lace. That is something I need to do. I think I told y'all in the last video, but I did finish at least taking the video for this so I can take still shots. This is the wraparound for the shoulder piece, for the lace piece, because when you're doing this, you have to make sure that it fits around your shoulders without stretching. So with my pattern, whenever I make patterns, I'm trying to make it to where you can measure your body, but also do made to measure if you're not comfortable with measuring your body, because not everybody is comfortable taking their measurements or has the tools to take their measurements. So I have to make sure that I have photos in there of how to measure your body using the yarn that you use. Make sure it fits your body. That's the goal. But yeah, that's what we're working on right now. I am going to continue working on that. I don't know what else I was going to say. Just that I'm excited for HHN, because that means it's the season. 'Tis the season. Har har har. Whatever. I just finished watching Mina Lay's video on, oh, I already forgot what it was called. Basically, it's fashion stuff. I watch her for fashion, like history mostly. And one thing she talked about was like the standardization of sizing, and how with sizing the models matter. If you guys were here a while back and watched that video where I complained about working in retail and how somebody was like, I don't know, this is size 13 and this is size 13 and there's variations. So I still didn't look up the facts behind standardized sizing and all that, but Mina Lay specifically mentioned that when designers are taught to, make fashion, they have fashion models, and depending on their models, that's where they go for size range, which totally makes sense to me. I don't remember what website I use to get my standard measurements and all that, but I use my own body as the standard measurement. So I feel like that helps with like both sides of the range because I think I'm like kind of square in the middle with my size. And so I feel like whatever I make for myself can be graded up or down and only slightly like different, sits slightly differently on everybody's body. But yeah, it's interesting to know most fashion designers use like a fit body, and depending on the model that they use for the original fit is how they grade the pattern. And that's why like a lot of companies, fast fashion specifically, when they do plus size fashion, just use straight size because they don't want to work around all those. Like in fast fashion in general, most companies are just trying to make money. So you're not going to get clothing that has darts. And if you do, that's usually slower fast fashion. And then on top of that, it's not guaranteed to fit you. Mina Lay specifically mentioned that if you're going to find clothes, like pants, for example, my hips are bigger than my waist. So I have to go sizes up, which makes my waistband like much bigger usually whenever I buy pants. I haven't bought pants in years, so I can't like really specifically talk on this subject, although I can talk about the pants that I have made. I usually go for wider leg pants in general because if I do that, one, it hides my hips because I don't like showing off my hips. And two, it fits at the waist and the hips because it's made for that. And this is something that I feel like is assumed knowledge, but it might not be for the majority of people. Go bigger so you can take it in. Taking in is so much easier than going out. Like if you bought something too small for you. I have some pants in my wardrobe that I haven't worn in years because of the way it fits. And I'm too like scared to toss them out because what if one, I lose weight, which I don't think that's something I plan on doing, although it may happen just because that's just the way my body fluctuates. It goes in and out. But also, what if I can take it in? I don't buy pants. Like, I don't feel comfortable buying pants right now at any time soon because of how often my weight fluctuates. I'd rather make them. And even then, right now, I don't have any fabric to make them. So I'm SOL. But yeah, I think that's so interesting that the reason why so many sizes work a specific way and why there's such a large variation is because their fit model, the one that they used as the base pattern and then graded from there, is a different person. Totally makes sense. And yeah, just wanted to reiterate that fact that Mina Lay laid upon us. So interesting. We are back in the sewing room. Well, kind of. I gotta go eat first because if I don't eat, then I'm not gonna get this finished. So I have to re-record or re-photo some of the parts that I'm missing for my Zero Status Top pattern testing page. And then after I finish that, then I can start working on sending that out to the one tester who's already on the lace part, and then have that ready for the next testers whenever they get to that part. And then since I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and start recording the lace video. I plan on putting that as a YouTube video so that people know how to like get a visual of it, because some people do need the visual representation of it. And then we will be pretty much done with the making it on our own. Eventually, I'll get around to making the water bottle sling pattern for YouTube. I don't think that's going to happen today, but I think that can happen this week. So, all right. Probably going to eat pizza rolls because that's all I eat. That or burritos. Burritos do sound good. Oh, but we also got new food in. Okay, it doesn't matter what I eat. I'm going to eat something and then I'll be back in here. Probably won't show you guys the process of that because I have to use my other phone. Well, I'm using both phones for this. So for recording YouTube videos, for the tutorials at least, I use my old phone. That's another reason why I kept that phone, is so that I have another video recording device, so I don't have to rely on just this phone to record everything. And then that way I can separate from YouTube video vlog to tutorial video. All right, anyways, enough blabbing. Hi, hello. I missed morning by 17 minutes. Dang, I've been up since like 11 something, which is just now waking up. But I just sent out the first lace piece pattern thing to one of the pattern testers. She hasn't responded yet, but I literally just sent it, so I'll give her some time. She's quick. And like, while working on my own, I'm realizing it really doesn't take that long. I think I said it in this video, if not this video, the previous video. It's one of those, like, it's the most tedious part is the bodice, so I don't want to work through it, and it feels like it takes forever. But I knocked basically 2 of them out within 1.5 days. I mean, one of them I finished in 1 day, and then the next one I finished yesterday, and then I finished one lace sleeve yesterday, and I started on another one, but then I got sleepy and just didn't want to finish the other one. I still had to work on the straps for my colorway, but I sent it in the group chat to maybe like spark some conversation. There's only one person missing out of the group chat right now. I'm still waiting on her handle. I don't know if we're already mutuals on Instagram. I really don't pay attention to that on Insta. The only place I really pay attention to, like, mutuals is on my normal account. And even then, it's like, I don't know. We notice each other. But we are now at a assembly part. I need to work on everything, put it all together, and then get that all shipped out, because I want to get this done. I want to get this out of here. I just want. I know this is going to be the hardest part for me, because I still haven't done any of the work for it. And then I need to have to do the worded verbiage and all that. Oh, one of the pattern testers, by the way, mentioned that her gauge was a lot different from mine. She did use a size 4mm hook, and we probably have different tensions. So I do need to notate that in the gauge swatch area. I think I sent the pattern testers the gauge swatch, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Pretty sure I did. But I need to like notate that it may vary depending on your tension, and that's why the gauge swatch is important, by the way. So she went like 30 FSCs lower. Also, I think she was one of them that took a lot longer to give me her measurements, so it might be a measurement thing. I'm hoping I get their standard size so I can, like, at the end sum it up and be like, okay, so that did match up, or no, that did not match up. That would be really great. That's actually something I might have to do. We're going to work on assembly. I work at 5:30 today, so I have until 3 o'clock. No, that's when I have to leave. I have until 2 o'clock, so I have about an hour and a half to get this done, which I'm not going to get it done, but at least I can start on it. So this is going to be kind of a controversial take. I have to have YouTube on or something on in the background to keep my brain, like, active, so it can, like, drown out everything else. It's just a noisemaker, really. And something that I'm interested in is theme park content. I am in the theme park capital of the world. It's not a special interest, but definitely a hyperfixation of mine. I love the idea of theme parks. I love just being able to go pretty much whenever I want, because I do live in the immediate area, and I like going to travel to see other theme parks. That's one of my favorite things in the world. I do see some of the richest people go to these theme parks. Speaking of, Disney has announced that they're building a theme park in Abu Dhabi, which is absolutely heart-shattering, knowing that that's a money chaser thing. I don't think the majority of Disney fans will be able to afford to go to Abu Dhabi. That is absolutely a really rich person paid to have a Disney park in Abu Dhabi. It reminds me of those makeup influencer trips that people, like, I don't remember which company it was, but they sent these influencers out on a trip they for their makeup, but they never even advertise the makeup. And it's just, I don't know. Okay, so like as I opened up this conversation, I said that this might be a controversial take, but I feel privileged in having always been poor because I can appreciate the little things. Like, I am probably going to get emotional talking about this, but a lot of the really rich influencers, I typically don't watch the rich influencers, to be honest, because they're not my cup of tea. They don't see the value in things the same way I do. And that's the thing. They don't see the value in things that I do. My husband and I, we take like the time to stop and enjoy the view. We take the time to enjoy like the architect behind or architecture behind the views. We take the time to appreciate the horticulture and the art behind the food. Like that's just kind of the way that my husband and I see things. And I don't know if it's because like we're neurodiverse or something. I know for me personally, it's because I was poor growing up. So I do really appreciate these things that people like take the time to create. And like, it just hurts watching people talk about something that you'll never get the opportunity to do. And like, I understand the goal behind it is to tell you what the pros and cons of it. But then watching people like, I don't know, also have a lot of friends. That's another thing. That's another issue. That's a personal issue. I struggled to make friends, and I probably talked about this for the past, I don't know, month and a half because seasonal depression and all. But I really struggle to make friends. And like when I hear people talk a certain way, I'm just like, how is it you're able to have this large, inclusive friend group, but be so negative about everything? Like everything that comes out of your mouth is a complaint. And like, I'm not going to name names. I never name names on here unless I'm talking about somebody positively because I don't believe in sending people over to another creator to, it's not ostracized, but to harass them. That is not ever the goal. I hope nobody does that. If you're my age and you're doing that, shame on you. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Going back to the feeling privileged to have been poor growing up, like, I grew up in poverty. My parents, like, they married, broke up, split up, whatever, multiple times. My mom is a foreigner. So at one point she was working 3 jobs. We, in the winter, one of the reasons why I have seasonal depression is because I very vividly remember the 3 of us being cooped up in my mom's room because we could only afford the space heater at one point. And we lived in a trailer too. That's another thing. Like, it's no offense to anybody that lives in a trailer because like it is a decent, cheap way to live. In Florida, a little bit cautious, leery, whatever the word is, because of the hurricanes. Like, we were lucky to have one of my mom's managers allow us into her house during one of the, like, was it 2003 when all those hurricanes came straight through Central Florida? I've lived in Central Florida my whole entire life, basically. I've only left the state a couple times, the Central Florida area a couple times for college and like music opportunities. But that's besides the point. I grew up in poverty. I grew up very, very poor and unfortunate. Like, and so like watching these big influencers like just talk about things and like, and I said it is part of their job to talk about these things, but like, I don't know. I can't imagine living that life. I remember when I was younger, I really, really wanted to become a theme park influencer. Like, I even started my own vlog channel where I traveled and brought y'all along. I have since deleted those videos. Well, they're privated, unlisted. I guess that's the word on YouTube. But I just don't believe in showing and flaunting off my wealth like that. It's just not for me. I think what got me emotional is the fact that they invited all their friends over and they got like a whole room service ordeal and they all like had like this lavish dinner party. And right now, when it's, oh, I'm getting emotional about it, but when food is so insecure for some people, it's really such a shame to see people like just talk. I don't, I, it's hard to, I don't want to shame them because it is their job. At the end of the day, they've made this into their career. It's just such a shame to hear people talk about food and waste food the way that they do when people can't afford to eat. And like, I don't know. I'm sorry for getting emotional about this. It's just I'm so passionate. It's just like watching the whole entire Marie Antoinette thing. My buddy, my doggy knows that I'm not feeling too good. But like it's just watching like the whole Marie Antoinette thing, let them eat cake, listening to our president say, they'll have two dolls. Like people are suffering, people are dying, people can't afford their medical bills. I don't think that if I got injured today, severely injured, I would just let myself pass away because we can't afford those bills. Like, I am lucky to have a husband that allows me to stay home, and I will always thank him. I will always be so extremely grateful for him for allowing me to have, like, my time to become creative and try to become a fashion designer and to, like, have this, like, this outlet for my creativity. But I know there's so many people out there that don't have that opportunity, and it's just, I'm sad to see the state of the world right now. I don't know. I'm so sorry for getting so emotional, but it's just like I hate to see it. And it's my own fault for clicking on this video because I should have known better. Like I've never really watched this creator before. And when I did, I got a bad feeling about them. And now I'm watching them again because like I just really, really want more theme park content because 'tis the season. I love going to the theme parks in the summer. It's just something that it's like super enjoyable, especially during rainy times and all that. It's just, oh, I'm just so sad to see what's going on right now. People are dying. There's a woman in Atlanta being used as an incubator. I just can't, I can't understand. It's not made for me to understand. It's just unfair that we live like this where there's so many people who are so poor, can't afford food, can't afford to get sick, can't afford to not have more than one job. And then there's people like this who complain about free food. And I just don't get it. Like, I mean, like I said, I know it's their job. At the end of the day, they've made this into their career. But I can't imagine being so incredibly rich and privileged in finances, in the economy, to just not. I'm sorry. I'm going to get off of here before I keep on talking about how emotional I am about this. Ugh. So, fun story. I don't have my mic because I was just planning on going to work. I'm like a quarter of the way to work. I left a whole hour early. Dang. I wish that I had brought my crochet bag with me because I have the perfect yarn to be working on a beret right now. But instead, I'm sitting in the parking lot for another hour because I don't feel like going inside. Because if I go inside, I might have some social obligations. And I don't want that. So, we're just going to watch TikTok in here. Think about maybe future projects. Maybe respond to some social... I always have social obligations. Why am I... this world is... I mean, okay, so, like, I do want to be a social person. I know my fault in not having friends is because I don't socialize enough. But, like, also, I don't like it. Like, okay, so I was watching a video on TikTok, and this one person was talking about, like, being a hyperverbal ADHDer. And, like, I feel like I used to be that way when I was younger, prior to learning that I am ADHD, because I felt like I had to say something all the time. But the older I get, the less I want to talk, the less I want people to know who I am. Like, I've always wanted to be like one of those mysterious people as a kid, and I just couldn't stop myself from talking. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I just don't want to talk. I don't want anybody to see what's on the inside. I don't want to be around people. And I think the reason why I talked so much when I was younger is because I was around people all the time, and there was always that social obligation. I don't have anything else to say except for that I'm sitting here dreadfully. Like, I almost want to call in, but I can't because I need the money, and I'm lucky to have a job, so I need to stay at work. But like, also, I'm here a whole hour early when I could be at home showing off what I'm working on. Like, you guys already know what I'm working on, but like, I got one more motif of the yarn, of the lace done. I don't have enough to finish the whole entire thing, so it's gonna be a little bit off colored. So the lace part that I'm working on is Bamboo Fair in Bloom, I want to say. And then the replacement color is going to be in Blush, which is the color that I had bought for the last iteration of the top. I'm sure y'all are probably tired of this, and whoever's watching my shorts contents are like, does she have any other tops? And like, my favorite sewing content creator, Kat, she makes the same thing over and over again because that's what's comfy for her. And right now, that's what's comfy for me. I like working on it. It keeps my mind busy. It's just tedious enough where I don't have to think about what I'm doing and I can listen to something in the background, but just challenging enough where I don't get bored for right now. We'll see in like a month. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna stop talking and then doom scroll. I also meant to mention, so usually when because this isn't the first time it's happened lately, like, luckily it's never that I'm late. I always leave an hour and a half before I need to go to work just to give me some wiggle time. Like, I make it a deadline each and every single time because I have anxiety about being late. I would much rather sit in a parking lot than rush to go clock in. If I have to rush, I'm never going to rush to clock in. If I'm late, I'm late. I'll accept the consequences because I'm almost never late. But besides the point, usually when I'm like an hour ahead of time, what I do is I'll stop at the shopping plaza. So I thought about maybe stopping to go get groceries, and I was like, oh no, I already passed it. And plus, I don't want to rile the dogs back up because I went to shopping for groceries, because this is still a no buy, no spend month. And because of that, I have allowed myself to buy like food. So I have spent money this month on food. I do feel bad about it because it was food that I didn't need. It was a dessert thing I got at Disney Springs, and I really didn't need it, but like, I was really kind of like, I'm here, I'm in the mood. Didn't need to spend the money, so I kind of feel bad about that. But I am allowing myself to eat, to buy groceries, mainly buy necessities. And like, I almost want to say eyeliner is a necessity, but it is not, because I do have a backup. And so once this is out, which I don't think it will be out this month, to be honest, but anyways, that's not a necessity. Food is a necessity. Food and beverage is a necessity. Whatever, you get the point. So I already passed the grocery store, and by the time I realized that I had left the house a whole hour early, I was near the shopping plaza. But if I went to the shopping plaza, which I normally do, like I said, whenever I'm off early and don't want to sit in traffic, or if I leave the house late or early and don't want to just sit in the parking lot, I normally go to the shopping plaza and like just look around, have a gander. Didn't want to do that because I'm on a no spend. And I didn't want to tempt myself because I know exactly, if I went to Michael's, I know exactly what yarn I want to buy, and I don't want to pick it up if I saw it there, because I'm not guaranteed that it'd be there because it's bamboo yarn, and because the tariff issue, there's a chance, a very real chance, that it's going to be back ordered for a long time. So whatever. Anyways, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, that's what I meant to say when I first picked up the phone, but you know, ADHD brain just forgets as you start talking. So, TikTok time.
Hello. I'm a little bit more awake than I expected, to be honest, but I think I'm just excited for HHN because they dropped another spec map like 2 nights ago. I didn't see it until last night after work. It's that time of the year, and as a reminder, if you guys were here last year, you might remember. I don't know who's all here from last year or not, but I am not an HHN content creator. I just really, really enjoy HHN. I do happen to go to HHN at least once a week whenever the season starts, and I like to talk about it because it's literally one of the things that keeps me going, keeps me motivated to create. I consider HHN kind of a fashion event, because it brings all the fashion girlies out. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm super inspired around this time of the year. So, anyways, let me talk about what I've been working on since I tell you guys all the time what I'm working on. That's what this channel is about. It's not about HHN, but I just finished and I beat Yarn Chicken with in the aspect of the lace. I beat Yarn Chicken with this last lace piece. So now I have 2 lace pieces, 2 bodice pieces, and now I'm going to start doing the sleeve or like the shoulder whatever pieces, straps. I got to start working on that. Because I don't have any more of this yarn, I think I am suspicious about it. I'm pretty sure I used the rest of this yarn on a bandana, and I'm not taking that bandana apart. It's one of the first bandanas I did without a pattern. I think I used Jasmine Stitch. I don't remember. It's been a while. So instead of that, I'm going to use the rest of this Bamboo Fair, I believe. Let me see. Let me compare colors. Because if this one's a little bit darker or closer, then I'll use True Boo. But if it's not, then I'll use the Bamboo Fair. Because the thing is, I want to try to get it as close. The sheen for this is a little bit too much, I think. Oh, this is too light. Oh, dang it. I don't have any other choice. So this is closer in color, but it's definitely shinier. This is pretty light, and since they're going close to each other, I really can't use it. I mean, I can, but I'd rather not. I'm not buying any more yarn. Still on a no spend freeze, although yesterday I was really, really tempted because I left for work early. We're not doing that today. We set an alarm. We'll be fine. I'm just going to use this yarn. I have so much of this yarn left, so I might as well just use it. Ugh. But they're slightly off. I can always go back in and fix it. This is my own copy, so it's not a big deal. It's just not what I wanted. It's a little bit different from the lime green one that I use because, at least it was just the drawstring on the bottom that I changed the yarn for. But this one is... Alright, let me cast on this, and then I'll start talking about HHN spec map stuff because I really want to talk about HHN spec map stuff because... There's just a couple things that I'm excited about this year. This year it just seems packed. I'm very excited for this year. Before I start the cast on, I just want to say that I think the crowd levels are going to be pretty rough because we're losing a major, well, I don't think it's that major, but it is a people soaker. So we're losing a people soaker ride because Rip Ride Rocket will no longer be there. And we're also speculated not to have, sorry, my alarm's going off. We're speculated not to have a Lagoon show, which in a way, because of the crowds, I'm not okay with, but as somebody that needs their little autism box, a little safe spot away from all the sound and the people and the lights and all that, it is one of those spots that I use, and having that taken away, it's not the worst because there's always a spot to go to. But I think that they're going to continue not doing that because of the scare zone issues. I wouldn't call it an issue, but I think they're still trying to cater to people who want to be with their family but don't want to be scared. And that's definitely one of those paths because you cannot get around the Blumhouse one. We'll get to that. I think we're getting Blumhouse again as a scare zone, which is the worst thing in the world, but I just love the event. Let me cast on. And we're back. So I can't count and do this, but I can definitely do the half double, blah, 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 whatever goes on in between. I can do all that while talking about this. As you all know, I have ADHD, so I'm not going to be able to talk about every single house. I'm going to just talk about everything that interests me, but here's the speculation map right here, just so that we can all get a feel of what I'm looking at. They've already got some speculation on the scare zones, which are my favorite part because I love sitting in the scare zones. One of my things is I hate standing in line, and I know, I get it, it's going to happen that I have to stand in line. That's just how going to a theme park is. It's usually too dark for me to bring anything to crochet, but this year I think I'm going to bring stuff to crochet just because like I'm still in the crochet mindset, and now that I have like things I really want to make and long-term things, not just like plushes or like short berets or whatever, something that will bore me. I mean, to be fair, I think the bodice of this will bore me eventually. But anyways, getting back to the point, I love sitting in the scare zones because it's a really good, easy way to get a feel for the event, because usually it kind of like mixes with the houses in a way. It also shows off costumes, so you can get like a really good look at the costumes. A lot of times they'll have stage shows, and like going back to the shows and how they're not going to have the Lagoon show. I think that the New York area kind of has its own show. Like they're mini shows, so they're like maybe 15-20 minute long shows, and they're never like real like shows in general. They're just like little stages, I guess. Yeah, last year the no, it was Hollywood area. They had like a little mini show too. Cause so like last year was the sisters, Sinister and oh god, I'm sorry. It was kind of forgettable, but it's mostly because I have really bad memory. They were sisters. One was like the dream like nightmares, and the other one was like realistic nightmares. I spent so much time in the Ren Fair zone. Torture scare, I think, is that what they called it? Man, okay. That's not because that wasn't memorable. That's literally because my brain has very bad memory. But they both had their own little stage shows, and I think they kind of timed it differently so you can watch both whenever. That's another thing too. They do it so frequently that if you're just walking through, you might be able to catch it. Not everybody stopped to watch. Pickles, the jester or clown, he was just more like a jester to me, but other people might say differently. Pickles was the crowd given name to the jester because there was a pickle jar next to him, which is very on par for Ren Fair things. So good job, creative team, for knowing your Ren Fair. It was given to him because he was kind of doing his own little stage show. And I love that when like there's an actor that people actually like. See, this is the thing. Icons become an icon because we as the crowd, we as the attendees choose it, not because they choose it for. I think that's why a lot of people don't like Lil. I mean, they do like Lil Boo because he was chosen by the people. That's why he became like an icon itself. Last year they tried to do Sinister and whoever. I don't think that's gonna stick. That's like they were okay. Their costumes were really cool. I really liked. I don't remember which one it was, but they had like the little halo and then like the skin on the halo, whatever. It was like a big hoop skirt kind of thing that they attached to the back of them. Looked heavy as hell, but like it was like a big old skin, like rawhide kind of type deal on the back of their costume, and it was really cool. But anyways, I'm backtracking. Like I'm going off tangent. Also, okay, wait. Before I start this too, I can't believe it's almost been a year since I've like really started getting into the feel of doing this vlogging thing. I will say I didn't start doing like weekly vlogs until a little bit more recently. I used to just do a vlog for a specific day, and then I realized that my brain can't handle that because sometimes I'll have thoughts throughout the week that I want to say, but I'll forget by the time I start recording. So, anyways, okay, getting back to HHN 34. I'm watching Disco Liz, but I'm gonna have her on repeat in the background so that I can like have the map up and it doesn't turn my screen black while I'm doing this. So going back to the scare zones, Liz believes that there's a red herring and it's the Mardi Gras one, and I typically trust what she says. She's been going. She's an OG. She's one of my favorite HHN content creators, and she deserves so much more love. But anyways, the Mardi Gras one she thinks is the red herring. I believe that if they do the Mardi Gras one, it would be inspired by the Mardi Gras like section in the cinema house, Slaughter Cinema. I do remember that section being the one where like it actually legitimately got me because as soon as I walked through the doors or like the flaps or whatever, there was a character in there and they had like a little button that sprayed water at you. So if this is a scare zone, there better be water there. The scare zones right now, I don't really have much to talk about, mostly because it's just one of those like it's not really talked about until later on. Scare zones being on this map is a little bit early. We're all expecting, well, Liz specifically mentioned that the 3 lines is going to be Megan, which having a whole scare zone for Megan seems boring as hell, but that's not for me. I will be sure to avoid that scare zone. Even if it's a Blumhouse scare zone, I'm not a fan. Like I walked through it last year and it was just like, eh, you know? Like I go to the scare zones to get new costume ideas, new fashion ideas because I am into like fashion. Like okay, so last year I gotta stop talking about last year, but last year the mind scare zone in the Hollywood area, a lot of people disliked their costumes because they thought it was boring and it was too plain. And like I will agree with the silhouettes. The silhouettes were really boring, but the fabrics were really interesting. And I always take inspiration from that because like I could probably find that fabric at Joanne. Well, R.I.P. Joanne, but like I think they used some fabric from Joanne. Coming back to 34. Yeah, so we're gonna skip over the scare zones. As I mentioned, it looks like we're not getting a lagoon show, and of course we're gonna get Nightmare Fuel, which is a people soak, but it's to me too much of a people soak as in like I don't want to attend it. I also don't feel comfortable being shoulder to shoulder like this with a sweaty man on the left or right side of me because it's usually we go in a pair and I don't like being that close to people. I think the show is wonderful. I do not like being that close to anybody. It's such a good, fun, feel good thing. Like I love listening to the music that they play in there. Kind of getting tired of the Steve Aoki Black Parade mix. Not gonna lie, it's a good mix, but tired of it. And it's a fire show, so it's going to be even more hot and sweaty in there. So yeah. So going to the houses, we are going to start with Soundstage 23A. Looks like a WWE house. Don't be mad at me, but I used to be white trash. I used to love WWE. My favorite wrestlers were like Rey Mysterio. I didn't like John Cena. Everybody loved John Cena. They were like, "Oh my god, he's hot," and I'm like, I don't know, he's all right. He just looks like any other white kid on the street, so whatever. Who was another one I really liked? I really liked there were brothers and Christian, the Jericho brothers. I think that's what their names were, or maybe it's just Chris Jericho. Whatever, used to be one of my favorites. Rey Mysterio, kind of like the lore behind Undertaker. Kind of got tired of him like dying and then coming back, dying and then coming back. There are a lot of wrestlers that passed away. It was like really like legitimately it was a stunt show. That's what WWE is. I have my own thoughts on other things, but we're not going to get into politics here. So WWE, while I do not like know how they're going to do this as a house, I understand the appeal. I understand the lore. I'm not gonna lie. When WWE characters started coming to MegaCon, I was a little bit like, "Why is this happening?" There's a lot of people into wrestling down in the Central Florida area, in Florida in general. So I really, really understand the appeal. One of our good friends, actually, we told him that it was coming. He's like, "Oh my god, yes!" And he told his wife, and his wife was like, "I think that's dumb." And he's like, "She doesn't understand. She doesn't get the lore." And I think the lore is going to go around the Undertaker lore because it's the dying, coming back to life, dying, coming back to life thing. He had the most lore to him. I feel like there were other characters that had lore. Like it's a storytelling thing with wrestling. It's an action storytelling thing. Next one, Soundstage 22. Don't know too much about it. It looks like it's columns with a paintbrush and like a little mandala drawing, whatever. You can see it right here. A lot of people are saying like Poseidon's Fury, which I loved Poseidon's. It's not giving that to me. I would love a Pompeii house. Don't think that this is going to be a Pompeii house, but that would be so cool, interesting, historical. Would remind me of Assassin's Creed because Assassin's Creed does a lot of history and they kind of like doctor it up. Next house, Soundstage 23B. That one has a little movie reel on it. Oh, going back to the wrestling one. So there's a little TV on it. So it means it was a TV show IP. This one has a little movie reel on it. So it's a movie IP. pretty much guaranteed it's FNAF. We didn't think we were going to get FNAF, but it's coming. We're like pretty sure it's coming. Almost everybody's like, it's coming. Like, it was like the crowd favorite one. And like, if I hear another comment, oh, it's our kids. Do you know how old these kids are that started playing FNAF are? They're all in their late teens, early 20s. I didn't start playing it. Like, the people that played it on YouTube for the kids to get into it are in their 30s. They're not children anymore. So we got to stop saying, oh, this is for kids. It's not. They've gotten older. You're getting older. You're just becoming your dad. So stop it. I'm excited for this just because I want to see how they work the costumes. And I always love when they do like video game kind of houses. Because like, although it's based on the movie, I do love when they do stuff like that. Just because, like, I don't know, it's just interesting to see. I'm more of an originals house girly, but I still appreciate it for what it is. So the next one is Soundstage 24. Don't know anything about it. They have sights, they have the angel wings, a little tree of life in the middle. Probably a life and death house. I don't know. Like a devil versus angel thing, maybe even. I don't know. Liz talked about it on the RIP podcast, but I was in the bathroom, I think. So I missed it. Soundstage 25, another movie reel. Don't remember what they said about that. They're trash bags. I don't pay attention to the movie reel ones. Sorry. The Fast and Furious one has another movie reel, and I think that's the one that people. Oh, Terrifier. Okay, it's Terrifier. That's what it is. I didn't watch Terrifier. I know it sounds like not hypocritical, but I don't know what contradiction of me. I don't watch horror movies. It's not for me. I love watching like gothic movies. I love gothic horror, not just plain horror. If I were to choose a horror movie, it would be more like what's it? Not slashers. I don't know. To me, they're all just predictable. That's why I don't watch them. They all have the same story plot. Oh, bad man get you. You know? At least with gothic horror, it's more of a like emotional thing. Like going back to not Interview with a Vampire. It was the other Nosferatu. So the horror was like what it's been a while since I watched it. But the main female character, it was fighting the demons of being like a sexual deviant or whatever, like having feelings about sex. And back when this movie was like produced originally, and back when it was written, it was just like women can't have those thoughts. That's what the background of that is. So that's why I like gothic horror over normal horror. But anyways, Terrifier, Soundstage 25. Fast and Furious, rumor is to be a Jason house. Probably not going to care too much about that one either. I'm not, like, Friday the 13th is something I watched. It was one of the first horror movies I ever watched. But it's still, like, too popular for me, I guess. It's another slasher. Not for me. Next one, Tent 3. So it's a book with snowflakes on it. And Liz mentioned that it might be a Norse mythology house, which would be super cool. I love like the mythology houses. I love how they do like, because like it's going back to the history thing, like going into history but doctoring it up a little bit, and then like kind of giving it a Brothers Grimm kind of thing. I don't know if Brothers Grimm was like the original stories or like just a horror based version of those stories, but that's kind of the feeling I'm getting for this Norse mythology house. This one, oh, I'm so excited for this one. Tent 4, Fallout, 100% Fallout, and because it's the TV reel or the TV icon, it's going to be based on the show. I believe that we're going to start in the shelter, and then we're probably going to see the scene of Lucy being like stabbed, and then they're probably going to have like stim packs in there, like to heal her up. Then we're probably going to go out into the wilderness and explore. We're probably most likely going to see all the main characters. I'm wondering how they're going to do the big old mech suit. I can't remember what the mech suit is. I never followed that storyline. I always would just do my own thing because ADHD, you know. I never like went through Caesar's path or any path really. I just tried to be friends of the townsfolk. I'm pretty sure we're going to start in the shelter, move on out to the wilderness, and then meet up with the bounty hunter. I forgot. I just don't remember his name. Meet up with him, and then meet up with the mech suit guy, which I believe that his role, like, I loved his storyline, and I kind of hope in season 2 he kind of like breaks away from the Legion because he deserves so much better. He's such a good person. He had the most development, I think, in the whole entire show. He saw what he was going through and was like, ooh, NCR. I think that's what it was, the NCR. He saw what he's going through and he's like, wow, this really isn't. And like, he saw other people getting, was it him that got injured? Somebody got injured and they blamed it on him, but it wasn't his fault that it happened, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while since I watched that series. So, anyways, very, very, very excited for that house. That's going to be the house that we line up for first, unless Lucy really has another one, because Lucy is one of our opening day partners. I don't know if she's going to do opening day with us this year, just because like last year was really stressful and yeah, all that jazz. Every year we do opening night, we get a hotel. Usually it's Cabana Bay. No, more lately, it's been the summer one, whatever. The new, well, they're not new anymore. The ones that took place of the Wet and Wild area, it was those hotels that we would go to, or are going to stay at. And we stay there, we get there the night before because it ends up being cheaper. If you do the night before and the night of, and then leave the next morning, it ends up being cheaper than if you book the night of and just the night of. Don't know how that works out, but it is. So we plan on probably doing like Volcano Bay the day before, and then yeah, whatever. Probably playing some DDR because there's DDR in IOA again. Like, I posted about it on TikTok and somebody's like, oh, it's been there since '05. I'm like, I know my DDR cabs. I used to follow the Reddit that told us where each and every single DDR cab was in Florida. You can't tell me that it was there since '05. I know. Anyways, going back to the map, I'm actually surprised that I'm following this. It's because it's right in front of me, I think. But going to tent 2, looks like a toy box with teddy bear or whatever. I hope it's not another slasher, because last year they did a slasher house with like, I don't know, the little bunny thing, and it was supposed to be kids as a slash that were the slashers. I don't know. It wasn't for me. I don't really like the slasher house because they kind of just jump out you. It's not for me. Last but not least, I guess, I don't know, T1, Tent 1. We thought it was going to be Hatchet and, not Hatchet and Clank, Hatchet and Chains? What of it? What? I don't remember. The cowboy house from the Slaughter Cinema last year, which I want more of a storyline for that. Like, it deserves so much more of a storyline, and we didn't get anything. They said it was going to be a zombie. They said it was going to be a cowboy. I said, yeehaw! And we didn't get any, like, okay, so we got a cowboy. You barely saw the scare actors, so you couldn't tell if they had, like, zombie makeup or not. I didn't think they looked zombie-like at all. Maybe I'm being too hypercritical about it, but he did not look like a zombie to me. There was usually just one scare actor just doing the rope and then going back into his little hidey hole. And it wasn't scary at all. Like, I mean, I don't think it was supposed to be scary. I think it was supposed to be, because it was all part of the joke house or whatever. I don't remember what time I need to go get ready for work. Oh, I have 15 minutes. But it wasn't enough. That story, like, the way that they talked about it seemed like it had much bigger of a story plot, and there wasn't. So if this is that zombie cowboy one, I'm going to be so very excited, because I wanted a big old story from him. I wanted so much more from him, and we just didn't get it. And, you know, cowboys are kind of trending in the big box corporate world. They are slapping cowboy hats on everything. Country music is trending again. Thanks, Beyonce. I still don't like modern country. It's, as somebody who is a music autistic, it's one of those that have a lot of industry plants. We always talk about the industry plants in the alternative punk music scene. We never talk about the country music scene. There's absolutely industry plants in there. Post 9/11 country music is awful because of the industry plants. It's all nationalism, and there's just so much more. Like, you could be nationalist, but like not in the political sense. Like, you can love your country. I love the United States of America as a like a beautiful country that once was. It used to be such a beautiful place. Like, let's talk about Central Florida because that's where I'm most familiar with. This is where I live. The trees are gone. The citrus fruits, the citrus plants, they're like, they're dying. They're dying. They're dead. Every time like a citrus grove dies, it gets bulldozed over. Which, to be fair, these trees are having like, it's not cancer, but like they have these diseases that are incurable, and so they have to bulldoze it. And because citrus trees take so long to grow, I get it. You can't just like replant them right away because the soil is still probably infected. But like as soon as the citrus grove is done for, the farmer like usually sells their land and it immediately gets bought up by these big huge corporates, like buying the land to put houses down that are unaffordable. Okay, I said I wasn't going to get political, but this is me like talking about country music plants, and how it's affecting like just general. So you know that there's the gnome like phase at Home Goods and all that. That's one of those things that is like, I don't think that many people like gnomes, but they were told to like gnomes. It's a lot like your algorithm. You don't know that you like something, but you're told to like something. The Stanley Cup. You don't know, like most people didn't really care for the Stanley Cup, but they were told that they have to like the Stanley Cup. And that's the reason why they are everywhere. So say hello. But yeah, I think that's the same thing that's going on with cowboys right now. You're not really aware that you like cowboys. Subconsciously, though, these stores are making you like cowboys because, oh, sorry, buddy, you just poked yourself in the eye. But they're telling you that you need to like cowboys. So that's why cowboys are trending right now. Often, I go Halloween shopping. I go and look for inspiration at these Halloween stores. I have so many like cupcake things that have cowboy hats on little ghosties. I have fabric with cowboy hats on ghosties because that was the trend, and I think this is still part of the trend. So, anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about that before I get a little bit more political. And I'm trying to not do that too often. I am passionate about it because that's just where my brain leads me as an other. I notice these things, but I need to start getting ready for work. It's whatever. Thanks for listening to me rant about HHN. I kind of got through the third row of this, and I will see you probably tomorrow night because I work an early shift tomorrow. And then I'll give you guys an update on what I'm doing here. And also, I don't know, assembly part? We'll get back to the fashion part. I will be talking about HHN. Just your warning, I will be talking about HHN for the rest of until HHN's over, most likely. And probably Halloween in general, because I love vintage Halloween. Okay, see ya in like over 24 hours. Hey, I'm not supposed to be here, but I woke up 3 hours late. So, good morning. It's 12:47. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself, but I guess that gives me time to work more on the pattern and work more on this. So yay. Right now I am looking at yarn, doing some yarn preemptive shopping. I'm thinking I want to do a release, like a collection release, not anytime soon, but whenever I get around to it. I think it'd be really nice to do like a collection release of the Cirrostratus top. I think it'd be fun to do one for Halloween. Like do a big line drop for Halloween actually. So the reason why I'm looking up yarn is because after this project's done, I don't know what I'm going to want to do. I know I want to get back into sewing, but also I've been having a lot of fun sitting in front of my PC, so that's one of the reasons why I've been doing a lot of crochet. It's just that I don't want to go to the side room and like have to scroll and find a new video. That's one of the reasons why I make my vlogs so long, is so that I don't have to like click a new video every 30 minutes because it totally disrupts my flow. And like sometimes I'm not feeling just listening to music. So anyways, I'm just looking at yarn, thinking of possible things I could do for like a collection release. I know I mentioned it in another video of how I wanted to do like name drops on them. How if I did like a black and gray one, I'd call it Nocturnal Serenade. That might be the one I drop, but I'm also thinking
of doing like a Halloween drop, like Halloween colors drop. But the issue is it would basically only be valid for people who live in the South because we don't get cold down here in specifically Florida. Maybe some places in Texas. We don't get cold down here until maybe November, and even then it's still like in the 70s at the lowest. And so I don't know if it's a good time to release like a collection drop on this in October. If I did do it, I think it'd be good if I did it in acrylic, did the defrosting skelly shrug, but I also don't know how much stamina I'll have for that. So, yeah, that's like kind of the plans right now. I'm thinking of things to work up and future project ideas. I'm always thinking of future project ideas. I am a creative after all. And it's not that I need to make money or anything because like yeah, I would love to make money off of this. This is something I'm passionate about and it costs money to do this. But it's one of those like I don't know. I like being able to be a pattern maker, but I also know realistically I'm going to burn myself out on pattern making if I keep on going at it the rate that I am. So, yeah. I just know that I'm going to need a. I say this like every single week. I'm going to need a break from crochet because I'm going to burn myself out. That's just the life of ADHD. You hyperfixate on a task or an activity for so long, and then you just don't love it anymore. And that's probably why I haven't been into sewing, is because I hyperfixated on that for like 4 years, maybe three. Like every week I was pumping out a new top or new shorts or something. And right now, I don't have any fabric that I want to work with. I do still have the idea of making a dress using some of my printed cotton. It's quilted cotton, so it's going to be a little bit thicker, which is also kind of fine because, like, I sweat a lot. This is the state of Florida. I'm going to be sweating a lot, so it kind of soaks up. Ah, there's somebody in our yard. Hold on. That somebody turned out to be a bird. It's sandhill crane season. So because I was on my phone, I was on TikTok. And it was like briefly, it was like less than 5 minutes. But the candidate for pattern testing that I was just going to ask to get her like standard body size for messaged me back. And it looks like we're a go. She says she's a medium, which is perfect because I need somebody in that range anyways. I think I'm like medium to large in my pattern making. I am waiting on one of my pattern testers to message me back. She thinks that she measured her nape to waist wrong. I had her do the original nape to waist, and then whenever she's only finished one bodice piece, but when she finishes the next bodice piece, she'll send me, well, she's not going to finish it. At 37 bodice rows, she's going to send me a photo of what it looks like when it lays flat on her. So that's really good to see because I want to measure it. I want to compare to make sure I'm doing it right because I'm nervous. I'm so nervous that the sizing isn't right. I don't remember if I mentioned that this in another clip or whatever. Another pattern tester mentioned that maybe I should like do a made to measure thing, and I think I 100% want to do that for the free one. I don't know how I'm going to do that because that's more math I'm not really willing to do right at this moment. But I have until June 20th, so I'm going to get her email address, make up a copy for her, and then see how she feels about joining the Insta group because I would really, really appreciate somebody in the medium size range to test because I just really want this to be a good pattern. And it anything I can do to get myself some help on this because at the end of the day, I want to be not just like a pattern tester that or a fashion designer who makes money, but a fashion designer who makes good fashion, like patterns. I want people to be able to replicate it without feeling frustrated and feeling like they can't do it because of the inaccessibility to measuring themselves. There's some people that can't measure their nape to waist by themselves, and I have to remember that. I need to go back. I think I messed up quite a bit in here. I need to go back to the beginning. But yeah, there's a lot of people that can't measure their nape to waist, which is the bottom, like whatever nodule on your neck down to like your natural waist, which is like a lot of people don't know where their natural waist is. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't either. I think it's like around the bottom of your rib cage. That's about where it is. And not everybody knows that. Because we live in a world where made to measure isn't really a thing, where standard body sizes are very different. Most people don't really know their true size because, like, fast fashion, you know? And, like, I'm not trying to say fast fashion, like, okay, fast fashion at the end of the day is bad. But when it comes to affordability, I'm not shaming people who that's the only way that they can afford to clothe themselves. Like, it is a right to be clothed. It is not a right to be fashionable. So if you can help it, don't buy fast fashion. There's just so much clothing waste. It's disgusting to see. Like, if you've ever seen those videos of like the shores where all these clothes are washed up and people of the country have to clean it up because these big corporations just dump it not only into the water, not only into the oceans, but like on mountaintops or on beaches. Like, it's really frustrating to see and then pin the errors on us, you know, when it's certainly one of those like overconsumption things. And like, in a way, I understand, like, what's the term where you can't find everything? So like, okay, so a really good example of this, Disney popcorn buckets. I'm in the Disney area, not quite a Disney adult, and we shouldn't shame people or bully people from their hobbies. If that's their only hobby, let that be their hobby. That shouldn't be our job to shame them. It's bullying at the end of the day. If you think about the Disney popcorn bucket, it's not exclusivity. Maybe it is, but like, there is a limited availability. Nowadays, the popcorn buckets, you have to mobile order them and you can only buy two at a time. So if they kept at that, it's hard to like do this because like there's collectors out there who will always be like paying top dollar for it. But there's also people who take advantage of that market, buy it all up as much as they can, and then sell it at a really high marked up price. So it's like, it's just greed at the end of the day. It's corporate greed, it's personal greed. It's just, I don't know. Like, it's hard to talk about fast fashion in the sense of like, it's just hard to talk about fast fashion. I am in the boat of like, fast fashion, don't do it if you can help yourself. Try to thrift as much as you can. I understand that there's people that live in rural areas that can't go thrifting and find something in their size range or just anything in general because there's just nothing out there. I get that. And I understand, as a fellow poor, what it's like to not be able to afford clothes. I used to wear clothes years. I mean, I still fucking do. I still wear clothes that I bought 10 years ago. Like, this is newer because my husband bought it for me. This was my husband's, and he's had these pants since before we met, and they're still holding up well. Like, they're pajama pants, so I don't wear them out. But like, it's just one of those, like, upcycle when you can, upcycle as much as you can. There's a difference in donating or getting rid of something because they are too small for you or very, very damaged. But even very, very damaged things, you can upcycle into something else. I plan, this isn't a damaged, these are Dickies pants I bought like 12, 13 years ago. I have, no, it was less than that. I bought them for professional work. I have some Dickies pants. They've lasted through a lot of weight gain and losses. And right now, I just don't believe I'm ever going to be small enough to fit into them comfortably anymore. They're skinny jeans in a sense. They're culottes, kind of like, they're high rise. I don't mind that it's high rise. I just don't think that my body will ever feel comfortable in those pants again. My plan right now is to, as somebody who knows how to sew,
take the Sims. I just I have Jordan Teresa playing in the background on silent, and there's a sim on the screen. But like, take the seams, rip out the seams, take the waistband because the waistband still fits. It's the waistband that's fine. The legs are not because my legs are thicker than my waist. And like, take that waistband, use that as like maybe a belt or something, and then like sew onto it a whole bunch of my scrap fabrics because I have a bunch of black scrap fabric in my wardrobe, not wardrobe, whatever, stash back there. Like, if you have the ability to do it, please, please, please do it. I need to respond to my friends on Discord because they're talking about Dollywood, and that's one of my favorite parks ever. So, all right, rant over. So, y'all remember yesterday, whenever I mentioned that I didn't have any more of the Bloom yarn left, right? I left a big old tail because I beat Yarn Chicken, right? I found some more. It was in my drawer. So I'm rhyming all day. I'm sorry. I whatever. I found it. I think it's just enough to make the lace piece, not the lace piece, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be enough to do the edgings for these two. I definitely, certainly will have to switch over to the bamboo yarn for the drawstring string, and then most likely for the attachment pieces. I hope that this is enough. I'm going to try. We'll see how far I get. Also, last night, probably one of the reasons why I didn't sleep well at all and slept through all of my stinking alarms was because I found, well, I learned about this through Reddit. So y'all remember StumbleUpon? I was on StumbleUpon so much in like early college and maybe like even late high school. I don't remember when I first started going on there, but I was on there a lot because like it was the way to browse the web and not be stuck on Facebook because all we like it was like the early days of social media still. Like, I mean, of course we had MySpace, and before that we had Zanga, and before that we had other like social media that I wasn't aware of. But then Facebook came along and like dominated. College was when Facebook was like everything. But anyways, StumbleUpon helped you discover new websites. I think that's one of the reasons why I discovered FML and all those websites. Maybe I don't remember. I think that site got really popular. Whatever. Like, you found forums through it, and I found. Well, I knew about NeoCities, but I also really delved deeper into NeoCities because like I never took the time to like look through other people's NeoCities because I was just like, whatever. But now I kind of want to make my own NeoCities site. Like, I want to make one separately, like, going to make it like super private and like not identify who I am because I kind of want to use it as a journal so that I can stop info dumping at y'all. I mean, I do enjoy info dumping. Like, I, oh, not info dumping, but like more like trauma dumping. Like, I hate that I do that. And like, there's some things that I kind of have like kept in here and not said at all because I just don't want people who know me IRL to hear about. I don't think anybody besides maybe my husband and maybe my best friend. I don't think anybody IRL has been watching my stuff. And I kind of intend to keep it that way. If for some reason it happens, it happens. And I just don't want them to like be able to backtrack and see like, I don't know. There's something about social media. Like, one of the reasons why I stopped using Instagram is because like not only did I never like really get into it in the first place, but also like too many people I know or knew IRL like had me on Instagram, and like I it's kind of embarrassing having like a life journey through it. Like, same with like Facebook. I never really posted on, I mean, I did because back in the day, back in old internet times, it was a safe haven away from the normies, and it was a way to like find people who are like you, mostly neurodivergent people, but it was a way to like just escape modern life and like be yourself without feeling like in that little box, you know? And there were some times where you were like kind of like corrected and like told, "Hey, that's a little bit much." Because I remember, ooh, I remember back when AOL like chat rooms were a thing, and I was in one of the teenager chat rooms,
And I remember like trying to make friends, and like I didn't really understand like people wouldn't ask questions. So one time, so I have a mole down here, right? And this might get too TMI for some of y'all. So if you're a little bit squeamish, skip ahead like 10 minutes, I guess. But I I don't know what happened, but I have a mole down here and it like ripped or something, and I was bleeding a lot, and I kept on looking down at it, and like it made me really dizzy. And I mentioned that in the chat room or with one of the friends I had on AIM, and I was like, yeah, I almost passed out in the bathroom and I think I saw too much blood. And they stopped talking to me, and I was really sad about it and like bummed out about it for a while. And like, if for some reason you're watching this, I don't think you are. You're probably like not in the same realm that I am on the internet, but like if for some reason you saw that, sorry. It wasn't meant to be like creepy pasta or anything pre creepy pasta. It was literally because like I didn't have anybody else to talk to about this. It was like my parents, like my mom was always at work. My dad, like he's a dude, you know, like also like I don't know. My parents weren't like parental figures. They were just there to provide, and that's and by provide I mean food, shelter, no emotional support. What was I talking about? Being online back in the day was mostly just being yourself as a neurodiverse person and like not being judged for neurodiverse because there was other people going through a lot of the same similar issues that you were. And like that's kind of what NeoCities looks like to me. And so I think maybe if I were to get into making my own NeoCities site, I would probably make one separately for like my crochet stuff or my business stuff, just so I have some creative outlet with that. That would be secondary to the private one that I want, where I just I have so much stuff in my brain that I want to let out. I don't want to pay for a therapist because I'm poor. I don't really want to talk to anybody IRL about it because it's just weird emotions that I just don't want to like I don't know. I'm tired of complaining about everything. And then like also I just don't want to dump that all here because like at the end of the day this whole entire vlog thing for me was a way for me to just share my crochet. Like I started this so I can talk about the business that I want to have, but let's be honest here, business isn't really like my forte. I talk about making crochet patterns and like how many crochet like going through the process of it, but at the end of the day I still haven't like done the stuff that I had set out this channel to be for. Like I wanted to be like one of those shop like small business owners that sold made products. I haven't sold a single product besides the patterns I've made. I haven't sold a single thing. I've actually taken stuff off of Etsy and my Ko-fi because I feel so embarrassed about it, you know? And it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just the fact that like I don't feel comfortable. Like I'm not a business person and I want to be because like I want to sell my art. I have so much of it. Like why can't I feel comfortable doing the business part of it? I'm not devaluing myself because I can't sell my art. Like I am aware that I am at least decent artist. I've been able to make my own patterns. Like I feel like that warrants me to being a decent artist, you know? But yeah, I've been thinking about making a NeoCity site. So if you're also on NeoCities, then I don't know. I feel like it's weird to ask for friends on there too because it's like I'm not trying to make a social media thing. I'm literally just trying to make an online journal, much like LiveJournal used to be, much like Tumblr used to be, but without like the knowing the face of the person type of deal. I'm not an artist in the sense of like pen and paper. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for me, I feel like, because I'd love to get into it. And I'd love to share some of my, like, I might end up sharing my crochet makes on there and some of my sewing makes, but I want to kind of keep it faceless. So as a small artist, as somebody that's not doing very well with, well, it's not that I'm not doing well, so I gotta stop saying it like that, but as somebody who isn't selling a lot of their art, I think I can still stay pretty private on there while still sharing some of my art. So if you happen to stumble upon it, great. I'm not using any of the usernames that I've used before. Handles, I guess that's how you call them now in the younger generation sphere. I'm not going to use the handle that I've used. I'm not using LilRootRoot. I'm not using the Kawaii Eldritch. So it's going to be like pretty darn hidden. I have like one clue anywhere, and I'm not going to tell you guys the clue. Not that like, I don't know. It's just like, I just miss old internet. Looking at everybody's NeoCity site, I really miss old internet and being like pretty private and like being able to just lay out all my emotions and not really feel the backlash and not having a face to it, you know? I miss that. So, all right, we're gonna work on this. Let's hope that we have enough for this. I think we will. We'll play Yarn Chicken one more time. Yeehaw! 2 straps done, and I have this much yarn left. So it's just enough to be able to single crochet these onto the bodice piece. Definitely not enough for the lace. That's okay. I've come to terms with it, but I think I need to take a break. I'm just like not feeling good. My body's not feeling too good. I think I'm dehydrated and then also stressed from waking up in a panic this morning. And then on top of that, I don't know. I've got a lot of thoughts in my head and they're pretty negative. So I kind of want to not be doing something that I associate with positive thoughts so I don't ruin that craft for myself. So, all right, we're going to take a break. So, y'all remember when I said I wanted to get into sewing and make a dress? I don't have the fabric for it. I don't have enough fabric. And it's like, it's really disappointing because I know the issue is that like I could just buy more fabric, but I don't want to. Like I'm trying my hardest to use what I've got, use my scraps, and like I have enough for a skirt. Let me show y'all real quick. So it looks like right here, I need one of these. This one's on the fold. So I had to fold it the long ways, hamburger style. And then I think I just need, oh, I need 2 of these. So perfect. Like that's just enough for these skirt panels. I have all this pile right here because I wanted to use this bodice piece, but I don't have enough for all this. I'm not the biggest fan of mixing patterns. If I had solid, then fine. I could probably make the bodice piece black and then the sleeves in this pattern, but I don't. And like, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna make a skirt. I want more skirts anyways, I guess. This one I could layer over because I'm thinking of making like a really long overskirt one day. Maybe in crochet, maybe in like a tulle fabric or something. Maybe that fabric that's sitting right there. I want to make a long overskirt anyways, so I guess this is fine. This is going to be like a skater skirt. It's short, but I don't really have a choice right now. It's tough. Like I really, really thought I had. Well, I mean, the good news is I'll have it done by tomorrow. Yeah, I'll look on the bright side for this one. So I think I only bought 3 yards of this, or maybe it's less than 3 yards, but it's just definitely not enough for a skirt. If I want, or a dress rather. If I wanted a dress, I guess I have to purchase it in 5-yard increments, but I also don't have the money for 5-yard increments for patterns. So I'll have to get over my big old dislike of using patterns for full. I mean, it's not that bad. It could be worse. Sewing time. I've got a new plan. So I was talking about using this fabric as like an overskirt type of thing, and that's what I'm going to do. And what I'm doing is I'm taking, can you see me? Hello? There. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the skirt portion of this and then use this fabric. And then whenever I get to it, you guys are sitting on the fabric, of course, that I'm going to use and the pattern that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the same patterns. So I'm going to use the skirt piece with the bad black fabric I have. I've had that for years at this point, and I think it's like a poly cotton blend. I've never touched it. I mean, I have when I first got it because it was a cheap fabric to get, and I've made like 2 pairs of shorts out of it. Hated the results, mostly because the pattern was too big, but also because Oh, I wore it to Hollywood Studios one time, and it was like the hottest summer ever. And when there, I sat down and then got up. You could see all the sweat on the back of my legs, and it was kind of really disturbing. I was not a fan of that, and I was really, really, really embarrassed. So I never worn those shorts again. I may have worn it during winter one point, but other than that, never again. So because I typically wear shorts or like bicycle shorts underneath my skirts anyways, I think it's the perfect excuse. And then I can get back to like, so I made this overskirt shorts type of deal one point. I need to repair it because one of the buttons fell off. It's in my repair pile in the bathroom. I have repair piles everywhere in this house. And like, honestly, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe that will spark my creativity even more. But anyways, one of the buttons fell off, and on top of one of the buttons falling off, the fabric itself is just too heavy because it's quilting cotton on one side, and then on the other side, it's like, oh, please don't come over here. There's sharp needles everywhere. You're gonna hurt yourself, and more importantly, you're gonna hurt me because I'm gonna have to like knock you off. But anyways, yeah, I'm thinking about taking that skirt apart and just repurposing it back to whatever the pattern was originally. Oh, and sorry, it's like a horror movie over here with him. I know, you just want to be friends with me. Oh, you're gonna hurt yourself. All right. So Mr. Spotlight of the show right here. Hope you guys aren't lip readers. Most of y'all probably are just listening to me in the background anyways. But so yeah, I'm gonna take that skirt apart. It used to be a pattern, like a skirt pattern for a sailor skirt that I made a whiles back. I have a lot of sailor patterns, not gonna lie. I had a huge sailor outfit phase when I first got into sewing, and I've since outgrown that. I think it's mostly because I don't have the fabric for it anymore. And like sometimes the assembly part really frustrates me. It takes a long time. I have gotten into the enjoying the process of a project lately, so maybe I'll have to try it again and see how much I like it this time around, and then find like, I guess, better fabrics. Maybe that will help out as well. Now that I'm into linens, I think that would be a great way to reintroduce myself. Anyways, back on topic. I'll probably take that apart, put the plain fabric back to where it came from, I guess, and take the fabric underneath. Use that. Like, I'm just gonna like make two different skirts out of it. I think that's what needs to happen with that. Or maybe like with the top layer, the plain colored layer, I will just use that as scrap fabric or something. So, all right, I'm gonna get out of here real quick so I can finish pinning everything down, and then hopefully have something cute to wear soon. Okay, he's done too. I just remembered the reason why I started recording, I think in the last clip, is because to tell you that this is printed backwards. So, good old simplicity. At least now I'm like wise enough how I know how to navigate around that, because I didn't before. Don't use this pattern if you don't know how to use, like, if you're still new to like sewing in general. This one is the Simplicity, where'd you go? It's a vintage one. R11333. That one right there. Yeah, one of the panels is backwards, so be aware of that. Hey, hi, it's me. I wore this today. I went to go take my sister-in-law to her therapy appointment today, or treatment appointment today. And while I was there, I crocheted a bunch of scrunchies that are in this bag right here. I want to make another crochet bag. So, like, not a crochet bag, but a bag for my crochet. So I dressed kind of normally today because I didn't know what environment I was going in. But I made a bunch of scrunchies using a Sunrise Ombre yarn from Big Twist. I was going to make a beret out of that, but then I was like, I kind of want to make it a challenge and see how many I can make in the time that I'm waiting for her. So, oh no, I think it's stuck down here somewhere. Give me like a few seconds. Okay, so this is how much yarn we have left. I have this handy dandy bag. My husband got this. I don't know what came in here, but he's like, do you have a use for this? I said no, but I can find one, and I found one. It's a good yarn holder. I have this much yarn left. Not enough for another scrunchie that I think. I can try, but I don't think so. I didn't have enough time to make one more. But I ended up making 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 6 here because I gave one to my sister-in-law. But did I forget to? No, they're all sewed in. I was just looking at my cinema roll, and he has a little drawstring, so it looks like I don't have them finished. I think I could have went a little bit tighter because like the ruffles are a little bit silly looking. So yeah, it's Ombre Sunrise is what the yarn colorway was called, but it looked like candy corn to me, so I'm just calling it candy corn. This one kind of looks like pineapple, but I plan on maybe one day making it and putting it in a market. I should have done like 35 initial stitches. This is this one. Let me show you one that I have from earlier. I think I did 40 for this one, but it's okay. It's not like I'm going to sell them for like $10 or anything. Maybe online I will if I ever make it onto my Ko-fi. I'm not going to do it through Etsy because Etsy just takes so much fees, and I don't think I can handle the pressure of Etsy because there's just so much that goes with Etsy. But yeah, if I make it to market, $5. 5 or 8. I think I'll do $5 just because like it was super easy to work up. 2 hours, made 7 of these. So yeah. All right, I gotta use the bathroom real quick, and I gotta answer my Insta messages. Okay. Okay. I just dropped a lot of things off my desk, so that's why I'm giggling. All right, now that we have all that out of the way, I don't feel like working up a new project because I have all those crochet scrunchies done. I don't feel like working on sewing, not gonna lie. I'm not in the mood for it. I don't remember if I told y'all yesterday, but I got into a really bad funk, and I ended up in bed for like the majority of the day. And it's not like a body weakness funk, but like more of a mental weakness funk. And I was just really sad all day. So I didn't end up like finishing that skirt, even though I felt like it could have been done by last night. And because I don't feel like doing it today, it's not going to be done this week. It is what it is. That's what happens with every single one of my projects with sewing lately. Even though I really, really want to get back into sewing, my brain just isn't in it right now. So we have the spider web thing, the web in the breeze. This is a bad copy of it, but I have all the ones that were being blocked over there. Let me just go grab them. Ta-da! They're all blocked. They're all dry. So I think it'd be a good time to just sew them up together and then go through the pattern. Do I still have it pulled up? I think I do. Let me pull it up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nope, I do not have it pulled up. Wait. No. Okay, so, all right, I'll have to pull it back up. I think my PC reset sometime recently, so where did I put it? Anyways, we'll get this all done, hopefully. Yeah. And then I'll show you guys what it looks like if I get it done. And then if I get it done, then I'll wear it tomorrow because we are planning. Did I tell y'all? Probably not. My best friend and I, and my husband, we're all going out to Universal again next week. And she wants to watch Sinners. I don't know if she's already watched it or not. I need to text her. I was going to tell her that I watched I listened to kind of like a breakdown of it. And I'm so much more interested in it than I thought because I've heard good stories about it, but I didn't know exactly what was going on. I feel like I knew that there were vampires in it. And I knew that it was like 1930s-ish. And I knew that there was blues involved with it. But I didn't know how much music was involved with it. And as a music person, I think that would be perfect. I'm just really excited to go see it. So I gotta message her. I'm doing a lot of socializing today, and I'm probably gonna feel pretty low on Wednesday. Not gonna lie. But right now I'm still feeling okay. So, all right, let's get this all weaved together, and then hopefully see you soon. Not me watching videos from Rockville in hopes to one day be brave enough to make it to a show. It'd be so fun. So, like, I think what I can do, because, like, I think too much of my thought process is that I have to be in the pit or I have to be amongst the crowds. I was watching View from the Cheap Seats. He goes every year. He's been going for a while, and he like showed how he managed himself and his family. And like a lot of shows, if you go into a tent or something, oh, nice, somebody's wearing a mask in the crowd. That's amazing. Good for them. There's tents, and they'll have like the music playing, or you can still hear the music, and you can see like the big old screen that they have on the stage, anyways. So, like, if that's the case, then I really don't have to be in the crowd. I think that's my biggest fear of going to shows is the crowds. And I have that one friend that said that she'll go with me to shows. I've already told this story probably a million times, but I'm going to bring my crochet if I do go. And I don't know. I think I can do it. I think that's something I can do. Maybe one day. I hope soon. Oh, that reminds me. So, my sister-in-law, she was talking about one of her coworkers, and they kind of invited her out to go to the castle. Like, she has no idea what the castle is, and she thought it was in Orlando. And like, I had to be like, I know what the castle is. I don't know everything about it. I just know it exists and it's in Tampa or Ybor. But either way, there's a vampire ball happening, and I would love to go. It's June 22nd on a Sunday night, so I'd have to ask for the day off because I'm probably going to end up closing, and even if I didn't end up closing, I'd still be too tired to go. So, since I have Mondays off, I think it would be a perfect opportunity for me to finally experience the castle and find more goth people in our community, more vampire goth specifically, because that's kind of where I align. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, to be honest, okay, let me tell you. I finished this. Did I tell you guys that yet? I don't think so. But I finished this. I did it exactly to the way that Yuri Knots had explained for the most part. I did do a little bit of change ups here and there, and I think it's mostly because the crochet, the hook, this thing, I changed it up just a tiny bit for the hook, but like it's not something that was like a big deal. Oh, and also I use foundation single crochet instead of a chain stitch for the crisscross straps. I would show you guys, but I'm wearing black and black. You can't see it, you know? So it's done. I do plan on wearing this tomorrow, and I plan on making like a pastel goth outfit because I miss it. I miss pastel goth. And like, I think in the summers when I get really into pastel goth, usually that and neons, and like winter is tough. Winter is always tough, and I will remember that. I think I also, whenever like I'm out of this no spend month, I think not only am I going to buy a bunch of fabric, not a bunch, but like blue fabric, I also want to buy a new pattern because I deserve it. I mean, okay, no, I don't, because I have so many patterns in my inventory. I don't need a new pattern. Also, I'm working on a sewing pattern right now and I haven't finished it. But anyways, I think what I really want is to make a new shirt, and that's why I want a new sewing pattern, is because I don't have any blouse tops or whatever. That's why I've been crocheting a lot of blouses. Yeah. So I'm going to plan on wearing pink either shorts or a skirt, and then a white top. Probably not wear the tie with it because I only have one white top and it comes with a little tie, but it's pink. Oh, yeah, I was going to work on some stars. Sorry, like I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. It's been a long social week. So I'm going to crochet these, make a little belt out of these. I think I want to make, I don't know if I have any more yarn to do it. But yeah, kind of make a little belt, or maybe like little dangles. I think, no, I will make a belt, but like hang these from it. And then I have a bunch of other colors I could use too. And then make more dangles. I have more dangles inside, but I want to use black. I have plenty of yarn, so I might make a whole bunch of little belts real quick. I am probably going to use this yarn because this yarn, actually I can make a whole belt using this yarn. Okay, so I'm going to make a belt using this black color. This is a big value big twist value in Twinkle. So
I'm gonna use this as like the base, and then I'll use this as the base of the stars, and then I'll like kind of. I think I have black baby velvet somewhere in the house, and if that's the case, I'll sew it up using that black baby velvet, and then yeah, okay. I need to do my hair real quick, or take a shower so I can do my hair real quick. Thanks for listening to me rant. I'll be right back. Hey, so I'm trying this on, right? I made the straps way too large, so now it sits down here. I don't like it. It's unless like I don't know. I'm so upset with myself because like I did so well following the pattern. I did go large and I just didn't do well with the straps and like I mean it kind of gives like a bodice piece, but what if I don't know what to do because like I'm going to figure something out. This just isn't working. Please forgive me. I think I will be cutting the string in the back because I didn't even attach them right. I'm going to fix this. This is going to be okay. We'll be all right. There's going to be a little bit of yarn wastage, but that's art for you. You got to waste some things for things to work right. So yeah, now that I have it like kind of tied up here, I can see that I didn't attach it properly, and that's not the reason why it's not working, but it's because the string is too long. But also, it gives me a good opportunity to do that. I do like it. It's not personally my style all the time. That's why it took me so long to get around to it. But I do like spider webs. So, I never got around to making the belt. Let me get ready and then see how much time I have left, and then we'll see about making that belt. I just realized that I hadn't given you guys an update on this outfit. So, I did go in and rework this a little bit. I cut the back and I reworked this to where it actually fits. Did the screen just get bigger? Maybe it's just me. Anyways, it's still a little bit big, but that's okay. Like it's not as bad as it was earlier. If anything, I might just make another one because I don't know how many stitches this is. I just kind of cut it and hope for the best. But this is the outfit for today. Very pastel goth of me, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like it's giving pastel goth. I think it's just pastel, spooky pastel. I don't know. Anyways, I miss my pastel goth phase. I do need more of these shorts. I don't need more. I want more in different colors because this is my favorite shorts pattern. I have this color. I have a black one. I just saw a lizard fall out the window. Also, I have one in like in the star print, I believe. It's probably purple because I had a huge purple phase for a little while. But yeah, I think also, so this blouse, I've had this blouse since at least 2015. I've had it for such a long time, and like the arms are kind of tight on me, like because my weight fluctuates in my arm quite a bit. Sometimes it's too tight, sometimes it's just right. Right now, it's like it's loose enough where it doesn't feel restricting, but it's tight enough where I'm just like, ooh, I can't like lift my arms up or anything. So I want to reconstruct this. It has a couple princess seams in it here. I do also have like another dress I want to reconstruct, but that's for another day. It's a dress, so that's going to take a long time. But if I can find like a way to copy this pattern, change the sleeves out because like I don't love, but I do not hate the texture of this fabric. I don't know what the fabric is. I know it's not cotton, but I don't quite think it's polyester. It's kind of rough. It kind of feels like not crepe because that's not the right one. Well, that was rude. He's telling me I was wrong. But oh god, my room is a mess. I just knocked over a whole bunch of pins. But I kind of want to get more fabrics that are kind of like thin and kind of sheer. This one's a little bit too sheer for me because like it's white and a lot of my undergarments are not white. So I want to get into different fabrics like that. Although I am most comfortable working with cottons, I think it'd be good to work outside of the box and learn different techniques.
because usually in the summer is when I take the time to learn different techniques and just different fabrics in general. Get new sewing patterns. I have a bunch of new sewing patterns. I don't need to buy new ones. I told myself I would once June hit, but I'm not going to do that because that's wasteful. And I have tons of patterns that I can work from. So yeah, you can see that it keeps on writing down. So oops, but also not a big deal. Maybe I can give it to my best friend. I don't know if she'd wear it, to be honest. I want more tops, and I also want to get more into bows. This was a very cute idea. So I want to get into more like decorative bows. So not only for my hair, but also this was fun. I do like collared shirts. I've always kind of been into collared shirts, especially with like the frills and lace. Very cute. I think that's why I really like dove deep into the sailor collar phase because it was a different kind of color. I'm gonna go and start maybe editing while waiting for my husband to wake up because I did do a video. Oh, also, okay, so I posted this last night at like 5 in the morning about possibly bringing like crochet to a club or a show because it's something I've always wanted to do because like I'm a wallflower. I don't like approaching people because I'm scared of being rejected. It's all part of my social anxiety. It's all part of like having been undiagnosed ADHD my entire life, basically. And I posted that, and one of my mutuals is actually like really into the scene, and she knows about the local scene because she is kind of local to me. She's way more up north than I am. And she's like, which one are you planning on going to? And I was like, oh, maybe the vampire ball. Cause like I have outfits that match, but like I just don't know if it's something that I should do. And she's like, honestly, I think if you want something more relaxed, that might not be the event for you. And like, cause she knows that MC who's running the event. I'm like, oh, that's pretty fucking dope. But she suggested a club up in Jacksonville that is like once a month they'll do like something vampire-y, and I love St. Augustine. St. Augustine and Jacksonville are kind of close to each other, like close enough where it's like it's driving distance for sure. Traffic, whatever. But it's much closer to in distance to each other than here in Jacksonville. So my husband also really likes St. Augustine. There was this one hotel we stayed at. If you watched that vlog of our travel vlog, I don't think anybody really did because this is like way back when I first started vlogging again. And like I'm like the intro was just me singing and nobody in it. So like everybody probably just clicked off immediately. But I do have our anniversary travel vlog up here, and we did travel to the hotel. I think I showed off a little bit of the hotel. I don't want to go back and watch it because it's probably cringe to me now. Like everything in my life is cringe. There's nothing wrong with cringe, by the way. Cringe is just like it's endearing for me because I've always been cringe. I grew up as a scene kid when emo kids were dominating, and like the emo kids didn't like us. The normie kids didn't like us. The goth kids didn't like us. So, yeah. Yeah, there's this hotel that we stayed at up in Jacksonville, and it's probably going to be really expensive for the summer, but I think it'd be a really nice surprise if I can make enough money off of my patterns. I know my husband's not be watching this part because I think some of my videos are a little bit too long for him. I will want to surprise him and bring him up there, and then that way I have an excuse to go to the Jacksonville goth club. Like he doesn't have to go to that. That's like I don't want to invite him to the because he's not goth. I'm goth, and like my best friend and my husband, they're both alternative, but like not in the same aspect that I am. They were both theater kids, and I'm not. I was a music kid, so like I really dove into the goth music scene. Like not the scene, but like I just dove into music in general, and like because I'm alternative, I ended up listening to goth music and then getting really into goth music and into the subculture and learning more about the subculture. There's a bunch of fine lines with goth and goth music. There's like goth music, like definitively goth music, and then there's goth inspired music, and it's a little bit hard for me to explain. There's a goth historian on TikTok right now, a little bit older gentleman, but like I do respect what he's saying because he did study. Like if I had stuck with music, I would have probably did music history, but probably not in goth music, just music history in general, because I just love like seeing the evolution of music. I love seeing like where things take like inspiration. That's one of the reasons why I'm always listening to new artists, is because like you can hear where they're inspired from. One of my mutuals, oh, I can't remember his name right. He's an artist and he's very inspired by like Crystal Castles, Pastel Ghost, that kind of stuff. And you can really hear it in his music, and I really, really enjoy his music. Like I I'm very grateful that we're mutuals, because like sometimes when I use musicians, like artists' music, they're just like a weird person using my music, but he's pretty neat. He's pretty chill. So I'm going to go edit and hope to find more goth friends. Hey, good morning. I still have my makeup from yesterday on because I just didn't feel like waiting at the sink for the water to get warm. So I am currently in the process of making another. Well, I don't think I'm going to make a web in the breeze. I think, honestly, I just kind of want to make a shrug bolero cardigan thing. I've been wanting a new cardigan because, like, I've been wanting to cover my arms more lately. And especially, like, in the summer, I, I want to be able to have something breathable to cover my arms, but, like, not super warm. So I think a nice little lacy crochet thing would be really nice, cardigan. So I'm going to use the pattern I learned from the fabulous Erie Knots and make like a cardigan out of it. I did really like the little crochet top that I made. However, it was too big for me. So I ended up giving it to my best friend last night. Oh, by the way, Sinners was so good. Like, I cried at least 3 times. The scene where all the music comes together and the historical fashion comes together. Oh, that was such a touching moment. I thought it was going to be like a horror movie, and I guess in a way it is. It was very gory, which was really good. The SFX, oh my god, that makeup, so good, so well done. Like the gore for the skin bite part, wow, incredible. The storyline, very, very well thought. I I think the storyline was very based on gentrification. I may be wrong in that interpretation, but I think that's what I interpreted from it. And the music, oh my god, you guys know I love music. So well written. There was music in every pivotal moment. It kept me well like in burst. No, I don't think that's the word. I was like really like feeling the movie. I felt right in there. There was only like 2 parts where I was just like, oh, this kind of takes me out of it. And they were towards the end, so it was really not that bad. One of the scenes being the when Annie, this is going to be a spoiler. So when Smoke is about to pass, he sees a vision of Annie and his child, Elijah. I think that's the child's name. And he sees them and the baby's crying while breastfeeding. So that kind of took me out of it. I'm like, hey, there's some inconsistencies here. And my best friend like was like, oh, well, maybe like he's just imagining the sound of the baby, because I don't think he really heard the baby. I don't remember, like, I don't know if they even discussed if the baby made it past like birth very long. And maybe that's just he remembers that sound from the baby crying. Maybe that's what it was, but the baby was crying while breastfeeding. And then there were some like inconsistent scenes there where the baby's like had the head covering on, not on. Like I just noticed those things because like it was the one thing that like took me out of the movie. Oh, and then at the end when Sammy grows up, obviously they have a different actor for Sammy. Their voices are different, but like I think they used just vocalists. Like maybe they were theater majors, like musical theater majors. I don't know. I don't know much of the background of any of the actors, but their voices were very different. Sammy as a kid or younger, he had a more baritone voice, whereas Sammy as an adult had a more like tenor voice. So, and that was the speaking voice. Like I Sammy, I think the as a kid, that actor is new to the scene, because my best friend mentioned that she hopes that he has a very fruitous career. It was a phenomenal movie. Like I highly suggest it, even if you're not like into horror movies. I am not into horror movies. I don't really believe that it felt like a horror movie. Very gory. So if you don't like gory movies, that might be one of the reasons why you don't watch it. but very deep, impactful message, and very like I cried so many times. Like I cried during the come together part. I think honestly, like to me, I think that was the climax of the movie. It was a very early climax of the movie, but then they also had the secondary climax, which was the action part. And like, God, I giggled when Smoke pulled out a like I think it was a machine gun, but I giggled. The costumes, oh my God, the costumes are so good. And I really, really love the fact that they didn't just use one style of costume, you know? So like based in 1932, it was like you had the rich people costumes, right? The rich people outfits, the outfits that if you had money, if you came from wealth, you would wear that. But then they also had the plantation costumes where like obviously you're working on a plantation so you can't afford much if anything at all, so they had those costumes. And then they had the in between costumes, so it's like they really knew what they were talking about when it came to 1930s fashion. It wasn't all high fashion, that's the thing. Like when you think of 1930s, a lot of times you think of Hollywood 1930s, but you don't think about the people that actually lived in 19 same with 1940s. A lot of times you will see like housewife clothing from the 1940s, but like the focus is usually on 1940s Hollywood. And I felt like for a while when I was just doing true vintage, true 1940s, I was like one of the only people, besides probably like Cottagecore Land Girl and oh, I don't talk to her much and I forgot her name. Oh gosh, she also was doing like more of the homebody 1940s, whereas most people doing 1940s were doing the Hollywood stuff. So it's really good to see people that are into costuming that know the actual history and not just the Hollywood history. So phenomenal job on the costuming too. So if you have the chance, even if you have to wait for it to go on streaming, great, phenomenal movie. Oh, I guess we were at Hollywood Universal Studios yesterday too. We didn't make it over to IOA yesterday, which is fine because like we spent the majority of the time at IOA the week prior. I don't think we did any rides. No, we didn't. We just kind of like it was 97 degrees. My husband's car read at 100 at one point, so it was really hot. It was very low crowd, super manageable. And because we are all like we're not native Floridians. I'm the only native Floridian here. And even then, I wouldn't even consider because I was born in South Korea and came over here at 4 months old. Hello, good morning. I'm talking to my blog. Okay, anyways, yeah, Universal, we saw the new like display for the Never Go Alone, HHN, the thing I can't stop talking about. Though it's nothing new. Like, I mean, it's new to us because we didn't see it the week prior, but it was nice to see good good feel stuff. And then yeah, that's basically all we did. We did that. We hung out in AC pretty much the whole day, but together. And that's the important part. Like we didn't have to spend money. We did end up spending some money just cuz like I don't know, that's kind of the thing. Unfortunately, when you go hang out, the only places to go have third places is to spend money. But like you don't have to. Like you can bring your supplies, your hobbies into the park and like hang out in Leaky Cauldron. So, all right, I'm going to continue doing this little web in the breeze squares and then hopefully I'll get around to I'm not going to put on an outfit today. I just don't feel like it. I'm just too tired. And then yeah, hopefully get this done today. And afterwards, I don't know. Oh, I did work on the assembly part of my pattern. I don't know if I told y'all, but I did have to ask the group to take a pause. One, because I haven't finished the assembly part, but two, one of them is working up really, really quickly, and I'm super impressed by them. But I want to make sure I have more feedback before I move on to the next part so I can edit that and then move on. Oh, I also probably already told you all this, but it's been a long week. I have the whole lace portion recorded, uploaded, just got to edit it, and then I'll post it eventually. But all right, let's work. No talk, just work. Before I move on, I want to show you guys the difference between the small, medium, and large, extra large. This one I did kind of wrong, not gonna lie. I just miscounted the stitches on the chains. But this is an extra large pre-blocking. This is small, medium, pre-blocking. I think if I do the smalls, it's going to take a really long time stitching it up. I plan on just doing like a single crochet to stitch it. I don't feel like doing mattress stitch. I would save a lot more, like, what's the word? Yarn. I would save a lot more yarn if I did do mattress stitch, but I prefer this size more. So I'm going to take this one apart, rework this one, because I like having the big old ones. Maybe I'll even do like the 2X because I want big and I want like super lacy. That's the ideal right now. Where am I? Large, extra large, 2X, 3X. So I'll work up a 2X, 3X real quick and see how I feel about that. And if I like it, then I'll do it. If I don't, then I won't. So, all right, small, small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, 3X. Here's the 2X, 3X. I think I might just settle for the large because I do like the size of the large, or the, yeah, large XL. I might just stick with this one because this is a pretty good, decent size. And it fits on my blocking board, which is just foam boards I got at Joann like a few years back. And by years, I mean months. But so I'm going to take this one apart. And then I'm going to scrap this one, probably use it for the mattress stitch or whatever. And then I'm going to rework this one. It's just a, well, yeah, I'll rework this one. And then I think I am going to pretty much follow the Web in the Breeze like attachment parts, but instead of like doing the crossback or whatever. Oh, also, I think what I want to do is I'm going to follow everything. So it has like 7 pieces or whatever. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have keep the square pieces that go right here over the breast, and then instead of having the piece that goes right here, I'm just going to omit that, and then I'm going to keep the rest of this, and then I'm just going to extend it into making it a train or something, like a long skirt kind of deal, like an overskirt. And then I think I might take this and then make sleeves out of it. This point, I don't know yet. I might do something else for the sleeves, but I do for sure want to make sleeves. Maybe I'll just do like a chain stitch sleeve or something, but I want to make it like kind of spider webby, like match the motif. I want to keep kind of the crossback thing going. I just got to figure out how I'm going to attach the sleeves. But once I get that, then I'll let you guys know how I did that. But yeah, exciting. Hey, dang, let me fix y'all. Okay, better. I had the energy to wash my face earlier, so that's pretty neat. And I also had the energy to make a bunch of stuff. So I finished up all 7 of the panels or the squares for another one of the Whip in the Breeze because I want to make one for myself. I don't believe that I want to like adjust this pattern because like I want to be better about when I get patterns to actually follow the pattern. I'm very proud of myself for having had followed the pattern. I didn't follow it to a T. There was a couple things that I didn't follow, but that's all right. Like it came out pretty well. I can't wait to see my best friend wear it. She's going to wear it to MomoCon. I'm so jealous of her. She's going up there with her friend Vincent. I think they're in a D&D group together. But Vincent is an artist. I don't know Vincent's name, like artist name or anything, but from the drawings and the art that I've seen and the shirt that he's designed, pretty neat artist. I've met him once, but it was going to a Ren fair and I definitely got overstimulated there. So he probably has a bad like opinion of me. So I'm sorry, Vincent, but you're pretty cool. And maybe we can meet on better occasion terms, whatever. But anyways, this is done. It's been drying, so it's pretty dry by now. I've had it on this little blocking thing since like, I don't know, like 9, maybe 10. Probably earlier than that, actually. But it's now 2 a.m. And I'm starting to get a little bit sleepy, but not really. Like, I'm just tired of crocheting, I guess. I don't know. My arm is starting to get sore, so I should probably give it a break. I'm working on a beret. So the plan with this beret, well, okay, let me actually tell you everything else that happened before this beret happened. I've been wanting a new like cardigan type thing, like a pullover or a cover up. And while I do like the bodice pieces that I've made, or the bodice pieces, the shrugs and boleros that I've made my own pattern, it's starting to get really stinking hot down here in Florida. and that just won't do. Like, it's a nice breezy thing, but like it's good for early spring, late fall. Florida, it's just impossible. Like, if I wear that, I cannot be outside more than like 15, 20 minutes or I'll overheat. Water's great and all, but like there's only so much water can do to like regulate your temperature in the Florida heat when yesterday was 97 degrees and it's only going to get hotter. So, anyways, the plan with this, oh, sorry, I never finished the story. I keep on doing this. Yeah, so the plan was to make like a mesh-ish kind of like cover up, but like when I started working it up, what I was doing was like I did a row of 50 foundation single crochet stitches because I was working up the sleeves first, because sometimes I just like working up the sleeves first to see how I like the pattern. So I did 50 foundation single crochet, and then I would chain 3 to indicate a double crochet, and then chain 5, and then skip 5 stitches, and then double or triple crochet into that 5th stitch. It's really hard for me to explain, and at the time that I was making it, I just really didn't feel like talking, so I do apologize, but it was just like that over and over and over again, and I kept on like working it up and seeing if I wanted to add any like extra flair to it or like make it into a bell sleeve or whatever, because I got super inspired by I don't remember the artist's name. She has like a spider web bolero, and I was very inspired by that, but I'm still on a no spending freeze, so I couldn't spoil myself and buy that pattern yet, but I may buy it next month. It depends, because right now my plan is to purchase blue fabric, Kona cotton, which is going to be a little bit expensive because Kona cotton's the good stuff. I would think I have enough yellow, but I want to get started on my Fallout outfit. Like, if anything, if Fallout doesn't come to HHN, which at this point I think it's still on the board, if it doesn't come to HHN, at least at the end of the day, I still have a costume for Halloween. And then on top of that, I can just wear it to MegaCon because it's MegaCon, you know? So that's the plan for next month's first spending. But now that I finished talking about the bolero that I was going to make, and then I gave up on it because I worked on it for like a good solid 2.5 hours, maybe 3. And then I was like, I hate this. I started working up this beret, right? And it's using the twinkle yarn, so you can kind of see the twinkles in the camera. I'm on whatever row, like the second decrease row, and I'm going to work it up similarly to the like acid blue like drip-y beret I made a couple weeks back. I don't feel like grabbing it. I do apologize. For a beret, you increase so many rows, and then you have like 3 rows of one row where you just don't do increase or decrease. When I did that first row, I did back loop only, front loop only, back loop only. That way I can create like a front loop thing so I can crochet into it later, like instead of surface crochet, because I really don't like surface crochet. It hurts my hands a lot. So what the plan is, taking the things I learned from Erie Knots pattern, I will be using this glow in the dark yarn that I've had in here for a while. The good stuff, the good. The only issue is that there's not enough ever. But I will be using this, making a spider web to start in the middle and then increase out and then attach to the front loops of this. So that's going to be really neat when I get done with it, whenever I get around to it. I'm pretty darn excited for that. I'm not going to finish this tonight because my hand hurts. It's only 2 a.m., so I have a little bit of time before my body starts getting sleepy. I don't normally get sleepy until 4 a.m., but my phone is also only on like 30% energy, so I should probably go to bed. Plus, this vlog is probably like really stinking long because I took like a full 20-30 minutes talking about HHN like in the very beginning of this vlog. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. That was like way back on Thursday. I've talked a lot. So, all right. I'm going to say goodnight. Not quite yet. Goodbye. I have been enjoying like doing the editing and then crocheting while I'm editing because like it's kind of gives me the feel of what y'all are doing when you guys are listening to me. And on top of that, like it reminds me of what I talked about this week because I have really poor memory and I don't remember anything that I did outside of yesterday. So tomorrow I'll do the wrap up and maybe I'll be done with this. If not, then you'll see it next week, first thing. So, all right, good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey there. I don't actually know that song. It's popular in the elder emo scene, but I don't think I actually ever listened to it when I was younger. So, here is the wrap up of this week. This week, we finished one Web in the Breeze. We got a lot of like the assembly portion written out and some kind of arranged, but not quite ready to be sent out to the pattern testers because I still need to work on this color flavor of it. With the lace work and attaching an assembly, what I have been doing is running the mattress yarn through all the way through the sleeve, but I want to try it out without running it all the way through and just using it right like from here to here and then from all the way back to the middle, kind of what I mean by that. We got that a lot of that done. We also talked a lot about HHN, so thank you for listening to that. It's one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. And I will have a place marker in the comment section of the HHN discussion. So if you want to just watch the HHN discussion, it will be there. And if you want to skip over the HHN discussion, you can just skip. So that's in the plans. I wrote it down. It's in the phone. So I will be putting it in the comment section. Also, what we got done were the spiderweb motifs, the little squares from the Web in the Breeze. Because I did finish one Web in the Breeze, which I did give to my best friend. She hasn't sent me any photos. I don't. What day is it? Today's Thursday, so she's on her way up to Georgia right now, I believe. And I hope. Well, I know she's going to end up taking photos, so she'll probably send it to me whenever, or we'll see each other again, and then she'll show me how she styled it, which I'm so excited about. I'm so excited for her expanding her horizons because she is the one that got me back into con going. I have been to a convention before, way back in 2014. That was the first time I ever went to a convention, and it was with my ex best friend, who I know, I mean, obviously, I no longer associate with. Sorry that there's a little bit of fuzz in the screen, by the way. I don't feel like cleaning y'all. So it was an experience to have gone to that. It was on a whim because the guy I was talking to at the time was going, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll see if I want to go. And I ended up going and had a great time and didn't go back again until 2017 or 18. That's when my current best friend invited me, and we bonded a lot over that. So I'm very, very excited for her to expand her horizons because she is also into costuming, way more into the cosplay side and costuming side than I am. I'm more into the fashion side. And that's a goal for her, is to work in movie sets. And I love seeing her growth, like, because she only recently started sewing, and her costume 2 years ago, it was a Twilight costume. Phenomenal job. Oh my God. As a newbie, as a beginner, the first time she ever used a sewing machine, wow. She's talented. And I can't wait to see her get better at costuming. We got one Web in the Breeze done. We have the 7 crochet squares, the granny squares of the Web in the Breeze working right now. They're pretty dry, but I just don't feel like putting it together since I literally just finished the last one and I don't plan on wearing it again for a little bit. That's done. We started on a new sewing project, which I didn't finish that either. I think one of my issues right now is that I'm kind of on a content creating block, and that's probably why I'm struggling with making the skirt. Because I'm like, anytime I feel like working on the skirt, I'm on the phone with my husband because I always need something to work on in the background. That's just the way I am. My hands need to be busy. Oh, I'll get to this later. But my hands always need to be busy whenever I'm doing something because that just helps stimulate my brain. And if I am on the phone with my husband, I can't record. Although I do have my other phone, I just don't feel like taking the video from that phone and transferring it onto my computer, then transferring it onto this phone. It's just too much work for me, so I just haven't gotten around to it. But anyways, started on a new sewing project. I think I might just do the overskirt for now because I do have shorts I can wear under it. And that way I can at least get that project done because literally all I have to do is sew on two panels, do the gathering stitch, then sew it onto the bow. Well, fold over the bow, sew that together, and then sew the bow onto, or like the little string thing, whatever, onto the skirt. Like it's only 4, 5 steps. It's super easy. No buttons, no zippers. It's something super attainable. I just got to get my brain into the game. In the game! I have to do it, and we'll get to it. And I have a feeling I'll have it finished by Tuesday. And I think this Tuesday we're planning on going out to Melbourne to check out their mall, which is kind of like a bustling mall, but I kind of want to get back into the Dead Mall series or just a mall series in general. As a former mall goth, as a former emo kid, as a former scene kid, it's a big part of my culture. And not for like the shopping aspect of it, but for having a third place or third space. I think I saw somebody talk about this on TikTok, but third spaces like the mall are dying because they're not keeping up with the modern culture. Yeah, a lot of us are shopping online, but if they didn't make like we need third spaces. That's super important. People want to hang out with others, but they don't want to have to like have just have bars because I think the younger generations, Gen Z and younger, they're not drinking as much. I know I'm not drinking as much. I used to drink a lot when I first got into college because it was something new to me. But the younger generations, it's not something that they're interested in. One, it costs money. Two, it makes people feel sick. So we need other things to do, activities to do in these third spaces. And like places like in Orlando, we have the touristy malls, but they also have like gotcha places, which are really trendy right now. They have places where you can like just hang out with friends and not feel obligated to spend a ton of money and just looking and perusing through clothes. And anyways, that's getting off topic. So we're planning on going to Melbourne, so I'll be wanting to finish something by Tuesday. So that skirt will be done. And then we're also probably going to go to Gods and Monsters, which is an arcade we've been to in Orlando, but we're going to check out the Melbourne one. It's probably going to be much quieter. So I'll enjoy playing the rhythm games a little bit more without bothering the other patrons. And then the next thing we worked on, or whatever, another thing we worked on, this beret. I am so incredibly proud of this. I did tell one of my friends in their Discord that I would write out a pattern today. I'll get around to it. I'm not done with it. I still have like the insides to do. I have like 3 or 4 more rows to do. I'm thinking maybe I'll do like an attachment here in the glow in the dark yarn. But wow, I'm so stinking proud. I already sewed this part in. So I have in the middle, it's sewed in down here. And then I attached up here. I don't know. I kind of feel comfortable releasing a pattern for this. I probably won't do like a huge pattern tester thing. I think this is going to be one of the free zines and a zine only. So if you're following me on my Ko-fi, which I'm not really expecting anybody to follow me on there, please don't feel obligated. But my Ko-fi, I may be putting this out on there just as a way to like interest others and have more people make these. Because like the beret, super easy pattern. You can find it online. The only thing that's different is like when you start doing the straight rows, I did do a back loop only stitch, but that's about it. When you get down to like this part, this is also free online. There's YouTube tutorials about it. And I made sure to check to see if there were free YouTube tutorials. It looks like it is from another pattern. It was based on another pattern, so I don't feel like I'm like ripping off of Eerie Knots. I feel like this is a pattern that you can find. I'm not doing the square, and so I think that makes me feel a little bit better about publishing this as a pattern, as a free pattern. So yeah, this is coming up in the works. No YouTube tutorial, just because I am so backlogged on YouTube tutorials because I haven't even started on any. Let's be real. So yeah, I'll be writing this out soon. I'll be making a zine out of it soon. And then last but not least, this is what I was working on while working on editing because that involves counting, whereas this doesn't really. I'm working on an extra large, no, a 2x to 3x range of this, the defrosting skelly shrug, because I want to make a Halloween release or like a fall release. I think that's what I want to do. So after this, I'll have one more to make, and then I'll have 4 pieces in this colorway. I don't know if I'll have enough black yarn, to be honest, which honestly, it's fine. This month is almost over. If anything, I have plenty of time to get that black yarn in. I still have a ton of white big twist pound value pound yarn, so I'm not worried about that. And then yeah, that's this week in a nutshell. Oh, I also watched Sinners, but yeah, I mean, crafting wise, we got something started. We didn't finish it. No, we finished one thing, and that thing got started last week. So, I mean, if you combine the two together, it's basically one thing finished. So, anyways, I'm going to end this vlog. It's without this portion, which is already at 11 minutes right now. We are sitting at 2 hours and 9 minutes. I almost split it into two, but I was like, I don't feel like doing all that work because I had already started editing the next half of it. So, all right, we are done for this week. Sorry for such a really long vlog. Hopefully, it was entertaining enough. And I'll see y'all next week. Probably not as talkative of a vlog because I am socialized out. I've been talking a lot, not only through here, but also IRL and also through messages because I've been trying to put myself out there and make people like make myself seen in the alternative community. So goodbye. Yeah, bye.